guys, you are welcome to Let's Sip, and my name is Chris Kata. And as you know, we talk about everything concerning life and whatever it's in between life. So today we are going to be talking about feminism. I know how feminism makes you all feel sometimes. So today's topic is going to be a very interesting one because we're going to learn and unlearn some things, because I need a lot of people to unlearn a lot of things. And I'm going to be doing this with activist, designer, and media personality, Felicity Nelson. Thank you. I know you're clapping. Thank you. Thank you. You're welcome to the show,
Thank you,
Felicity.
Chris. Thanks for having me.
How are you?
I'm good.
How is everything going?
Everything's good.
I could have asked you what you're wearing, but I'm not going to do that because I know you're wearing Ampafo.
All day I wear myself.
I know you are a very good designer. If I haven't told you before because of social media, like I'm telling you right now.
Thank you.
Like you said last time on one of your posts, tell me, don't say it behind. I'm telling you right now, Felicity, I love your designs.
Thank you. I'm so shy.
I know.
I know, I'm amazing. I know. Well, thanks anyway for reminding me.
Yeah. But how's work? How's everything? Activism, work, and
Everything's
life.
fine. Everything's fine. I can't complain. Mm-hmm. Well, I have a million things to complain about, but let's not do the complaints
Right, yeah.
here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But then how do you juggle all this together? Activism, designer, media personality and all that.
No, it's stressful. It's definitely, and then sometimes you need to take a step back and focus on one thing. You can't do all of them at once. And
Right.
activism especially, it's very taxing, like on your spirit, on your mental health, on your emotional health. So you always need to take breaks. So there's always going to be issues, but sometimes you need to take care of you, because if you're not well, you can't take care of anybody else. So you
Right.
definitely need to focus. And sometimes you have to. There's certain things that you can't take up, and that's
Right.
okay. You can't save everybody. Jesus couldn't even save everyone.
I know. Okay, so we're gonna start this conversation, but before we start the conversation, we are going to be having some wine. And
Okay.
today we are having Castillo San Simon, Monastrell Jumilia. I think it's like a Spanish wine. And I'm ready.
Okay,
Yeah, it's made in
so
Spain. Yeah. So I'm ready to taste the Castillo San Simon. Okay. So I'll give you this.
Okay, thank you.
Because you're in my house, I have to serve you first.
Oh, you're
That's
so
very
sweet.
African.
Why are there?
Thank you. Midasi, why? So when I speak to you, I get very happy because I'm doing a great job.
You are.
Let's cheers to that.
Cheers, darling.
Cheers. So let's.
It's nice.
Nice, different but nice. So now that we have set the tone by taking that gulp, I'm sure you're ready to talk about this now. Okay, so today's topic is everyone versus feminists. Everyone, especially here in Africa, because I feel like a lot of people do not understand the concept of feminism in Africa. A lot of people see feminists as, those little demons. They're spoiling women, they're corrupting women. Yeah. How does that make you feel, first of all?
I'm quite indifferent about that. If you think that feminists are the ones corrupting women, clearly you don't understand feminism.
Yeah.
So I'm not worried about your opinion.
But what is feminism?
Well, feminism is basically a feminist is someone who believes in the political, social equality of women, of both genders actually.
Yeah.
But the reason why it's called feminism and not just, let's say, humanism or whatever, is just the fact that there's a recognition that in our society, we built a society where women have been left behind in many ways. So you need a theory or a system to support women to also be at par with men.
Right.
So that's the reason why it's called feminism. So it's not because it's disenfranchising men or it's against men. And the system is being held up by it's a male-dominated system. It doesn't mean that men in particular are the enemy.
Yes.
Because there's also women who also hold up this system called patriarchy.
Yes.
Patriarchy can also be held up by women too. So not men are not all villains.
Yeah.
And women are not all victims.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. But the problem right now is that most times, because it's not explained properly, even though when it's explained, people still do not want to listen to you because they feel like, oh, it's all about the women, you hate men. And this concept of hating men, like, how do we differentiate it from feminism? So like misandry, obviously, and feminism.
First of all, I don't have time to try and explain to people that I don't hate men. If you think I hate men, okay. Like, I'm not going to explain that to you if you don't understand what feminism is and misandry, because the reality is that even if all of us, if I was a misandrist, we don't have a system in place. Women do not have enough power in our society to be able to exert the kind of dominance that men do. So for example, like if you take, let me use black people and white people in America. If black people in America became racist, are racist, the systems in America currently already are dominated by white power and white people. So even if black people are being racist, they're not in a position to maybe stop white people from getting access to education, stop white people from getting access to healthcare. So that you need power in order for something to be, you need power in order to be able to disenfranchise people. So women, let's say in Ghana, in the Ghanaian setting, where you have 51% of the women of the population being female, yet if you go into parliament, for example, we only have about 19% of the population being in terms of ministers, you have about 19% of them being ministers. So women are not in positions of power enough to be able to hold themselves over men and hold men down in our Ghanaian system. So that's why if you say I'm a misandrist, I'm not going to spend too much time saying, oh, I don't hate men, because even if I hated men, what can I do? How many women are raping men? Exactly. How many? Let's. If we're going to have that conversation, we need to have it properly. How much power do women have in our societies to be able to do what men have been doing to women? Women don't have that power. So even if women hated men, so what? If there are and if there's women who hate men, we have to also ask ourselves, what are these men doing to women for them to say? Because you hear people say stuff like, oh, why you hate men? Some of you feminists hate men because a man broke your heart. If someone broke my heart, if I want to hate them, I can hate them.
Exactly.
So maybe you should tell men to stop breaking women's hearts so that some women don't hate them. I'm not saying I hate them, but even if I did hate them, that they would be justified in their hatred. When you're bitten by a snake, you're not going to be like, oh, this is a yellow snake, so the one that bit me was a green one. So maybe that one, when you see every snake, you're going to run. That's basically what it is. So take it that way.
Okay, now when we talk about feminism in Africa, we see a lot of people coming out to say that, okay, it's not an African concept, or it's for the white people, that, this used to happen when the whites, actually some people actually say it's a white and black thing, that it's the white woman that started against the white man, and now the black woman is trying to copy the white woman. Like, how does that make you feel?
Well, the very idea that feminism is foreign to us in an African context is not true. If you look at how even within our communities, if you look at how we even have matrilineal systems where inheritance goes through the woman, we already recognize the power of women. That's actually very natural to us.
Yes.
It's actually when white people came into our system and brought stuff like Christianity and Islam, then came in stuff like where they started relegating the position of women, because even if you look at even an Ashanti setting, for example, is the woman who installs who chooses the king of the Ashanti kingdom. So that's if you look at that system. So if you have a woman who chooses the king, naturally you have a society which respects the women, the voice of women, and then once you started bringing in Christianity and Islam and religion, Abrahamic religions primarily, when you started bringing them into an African context, it actually took us away from who we truly are. African women have been trading across borders. African women have been entrepreneurs. African women have always been strong. If people are going to be honest with themselves, if they look at their aunties, their grandmothers, especially the older women in their families, you would realize that they had extremely strong personalities. So this idea that women who are strong, women who are assertive are suddenly is a foreign concept.
Yes.
Where are you getting this from? Look around you. In my household, my grandmother was if you're going to call it, head of home. So as far as I'm concerned, women have always been strong. Like, I grew up in a household where my grandma was leading the household. That's how it was. So when I come out into the world and someone tells me, oh, I don't understand where you're getting all this strength from, it must be because of the Western. What's Western about my grandmother? My grandmother was born and bred here. She's a Fanti woman. Fanti women are extremely strong women. If you go into their communities, they tend to lead their households. So it's not, feminism is not foreign to our context. It has never been foreign. It is just because religion brought in patriarchy with it. With the religions that we, as Africans, when we chose to let go of our own religions and we chose to go and chase a white man's religion. So anyway, even if you're saying it's a white man's concept, the religions you follow, are they not also white man's concept? So why is it that when you follow the white man's religion, that's okay? But somehow, if feminism is supposed to be from a white man, why is that suddenly so wrong?
Right. I really understand where you're coming from, and sometimes most of these people understand it too. And when you say things like this, it's like they're like, yeah, it's true. Yeah, you might be right. But at the end of the day, why are the African feminists so bitter? African feminism is different from what we see or what the concept is supposed to be.
First of all, anyone that says that doesn't have a clue. Like, there's a lot of people who say, first they say African feminists are bitter, and you ask them, how many African feminists do you even know?
Exactly.
I've met very few people who can even name 5. If you say, oh, how many Ghanaian feminists? Oh, Ghanaian feminists are so bitter, so angry. Name 5 that you personally know. They bet most of them can't name them. And even if you understand feminism, even from when you talk about the suffragettes in the UK, where they started fighting for women's right to vote, these were women who are burning down buildings.
Sure.
So if you're going to tell me that is different from the do you want us to start burning down buildings? Because, so are we doing is it wrong that we're not burning buildings, or do you want us to start burning buildings? So you know that, oh yeah, we are very bitter,
True,
very angry.
True.
So when you're fighting for your freedom, there's so many things that you need to do, and you're fighting to kind of free yourself. If you look at all rights movements across the world, it's not just about dialogue. People, they use dialogue, but sometimes you have to also apply force, which even African feminists haven't done yet.
At all.
People
talk.
People say, oh, we're on social media and they're so angry. But what have we actually done?
Nothing.
Have we seen us going around burning men or stabbing men or killing men, or have we done any of those things? No, we haven't. So when you say we're angry, what you're actually really saying is, you people are doing the bare minimum, which is talking, but we even want you to stop doing that. Talking on its own is even too much, because they actually want us to be silent. Silence, we will not be.
Even among feminists, there's still like
cliques.
Not just cliques. There are still like other classifications, like the cis feminists, and and there are so many ones.
Yeah.
Last time I saw a group of feminists fighting cis feminists, and they're like, "Oh, you cis feminists are actually always against the LGBT. You're always against them." So I'm like, wow. So there's even a fight among feminists because of this.
Yeah, and the thing is, but in every human grouping, this is not something that's peculiar to just feminists. Let's not forget that, because a lot of the time these kind of conversations happen and people are like, someone's probably going to be watching this saying, oh, I told you, women are their own enemies. People disagree all the time. Like, the reason why we have the Catholic Church and the Anglican Church is literally because men were disagreeing. The reason why there's a war in Ukraine and Russia now is because men are disagreeing. So disagreements are fine. It's human. Husbands and wives disagree, family members. But when we disagree, it's how we disagree. So we can even have like the cis feminists and the trans and the LGBT feminists. There's always going to be things that we disagree on, but we need to find ways to focus on the things we do agree on, and also try to educate each other, because we all have blind spots. And as a feminist, especially when you're living in a patriarchal society where patriarchy is the norm, being misogynistic is the norm. So we all have internalized misogyny, and everyone has blind spots. So there's certain things that I have probably unlearned that you haven't, and there's certain things that you have unlearned that I haven't, and I'm not even aware of. So someone else must draw my attention to it and say, oh, do you know what, like Felicity, this thing that you said here,
doesn't
you didn't say,
Thank you for that. All right, so before I let you go, so what are some of the give me a mantra that you live by, or some Felicity nuggets that we can take. I
don't know if I have any Felicity nuggets, but one thing I would always say is, if you're a woman, because my activism centers women, so I would say be shameless, be ready to be a shameless woman. If you are shameless, you can live in your truth. So be shameless. Don't be too fixated on what people think of you, because what people think of you is none of your business. And most of the time, if you're shameless enough, they can't even say it to your face anyway. Live your own life. It doesn't matter what your mom says, uncle says, pastor, dad, whoever. Live your life, live in your truth, and be the greatest version of yourself.
All right, so guys, so you've heard it all from Felicity Nelson. It's been so amazing talking about, everyone versus feminists. And hey, I think everyone should be feminist. After listening to this, you should be a feminist. You tell your auntie, tell your mother, tell everyone around you should be feminist, because I think it's important that women start having voices in societies and also have equal rights just as men. Once more, I want to say a very big thank you to Castillo San Simon for this beautiful wine. Let's cheers to that again. Cheers to the wonderful conversation we just had right now. And thank you, Urbano Hotels, for this wonderful ambience and this wonderful space, and Infobox Media Group for the podcast set. Thank you so much, and I hope to see you guys on the next podcast. It's time for us to go now. Bye-bye.